Hi there, this is Nikki Rowland for Hit Kit Club, and today I am designing a layout using the really gorgeous October kits. I have the main kit, I also have the embellishment kit, and I have the Project Life kit too. I'm also using this week's sketch, there it is, which is the big heart with the 3 photos across the middle. What I've done is I've used a cut file back from June actually by Lisa. I've used the outline of that only just to cut out the heart shape from the hexagon paper, Paige Evans hexagon paper, which is obviously absolutely gorgeous. So I'm just taking the middle out of that paper now because I'm thinking I might use that as my border. I've created the heart with the cut file, and I'm also going to stitch an outline around the outside of that heart directly onto my white paper. I've done that in the in Silhouette 2. I have used the cut file and then created an outline, or an offset I think it's called, on the software, and then I've cut it in a dashed line onto the white paper so that I have got little perforations all the way through, slightly bigger than the size of the heart that I'm using. So I've chosen my colour of thread and I'm just doing a few stitches to see if I'm happy with it, which I think that I am, but I decided at this point that I wanted to create more of my layout before I stitched all the way around. I think I was just keen to get on with the layout really, rather than sit and spend time doing the stitching. Yeah, so what I'm doing now is I've decided that background, the hexagon background, isn't any good for a border. It's nice, it's just that I wanted something a bit darker and deeper to make it a bit more bold. So I've gone for I'm going to go for the outline in the black and white Jen Hadfield by Pebbles paper, I've just gutted the middle of that, and I'm going to use a bit of that behind my photo stack. Obviously the hexagon heart is very busy, it's very lots of patterns and lots of colours, bold colours, so I needed something to kind of separate my photo strip from the background of the heart. So I've mounted one of my photos onto a yellow journaling card. I have added a piece of quite light pattern paper with a diagonal stripe on it, and a piece of that black and white paper by Jen Hadfield. So that gives me a decent amount of separation there. Then also that will all come together when I put the border, the black and white border, around the outside of the layout too. So now that I've got a bit further on with my layout, now I'm going to spend the time doing some stitching. Ta-da, that's all done. So just fastening off on the back there, and there I have that lovely outlined heart that my hexagon heart fits in the middle beautifully. And there we go. Doesn't that look so much better with the dark black and white background? Yeah, I'm sticking with that, getting my heart stuck down in the middle, and then I'm just distressing the edges a bit there of my white cardstock, and then I'm going to start putting my whole layout together. There we go, that's all just going down now, being stuck onto the background. There we are. There's my photo stack, and adding my photos together. Now that I'm happy with everything, I'm going to get it all stuck down and stuck in place. So there you go, photo stack going on, together with the 3 photos that I'm just arranging ever so slightly. And I'm going to use that title Sun-Kissed. That the photos are of my 3 children out on a recent holiday in the sun. So we're sat by the beach, and it's the end of our holiday too, so they're definitely sun-kissed by them. So photos down, title down, love those phrase thickers by Wampanoag too. And then I'm just going to slot my flowers all back in as to how they were. They probably won't end up being exactly the same formation as what they were when I initially did it, but I'm happy with it just the same. So I'm sticking down my flowers with a bit of tape and also some foam pads to make sure that they all stand up a bit and have some lovely dimension. So just getting all of those in place now. And now I'm just going through and adding some other bits and pieces as well. So I've pulled out some hearts from the Wampanoag 2 Thickers phrase stickers. And I'm just going through now my other embellishments to see what I've got to add onto the layout. So there's on the sketch, there's some journaling spot at the bottom underneath the title, and instead of writing my journaling there, I am actually just going to stick a whole bunch of phrase stickers from the sticker sheet, the Paige Evans whimsical sticker sheet, and also those Jen Hadfield ones too. So I'm just picking out phrases that work for my layout and my photos, and I'm adding those in place of the journaling. The layout the photo story don't really need any journaling other than the date, so that I will add in, but otherwise they don't really need much explanation. So there's not a story to tell really, just lovely photos on the beach. So now I'm finishing off. I've added in puffy stickers, I've added in enamel dots, I've added in a button, a wooden button, and now I'm going round and I wanted to add some stitch details around this stitched heart, and I was going to cross stitch them myself with the same colour thread or maybe some different colour thread to pick up on the stitching that you can see in the hexagon paper. However, there are so many lovely cross stitches and little tiny stitches on the rub-ons sheet by Paige Evans Whimsical that I decided to just use a few of those around the edge of my heart in different places. They're all in different colours too, so you probably can't see the detail on screen right now because it's so tiny, but up close you can see that there's little cross stitches and little zigzag stitches done all the way around the heart. I'm just putting one on there, and they're using the rub-ons by Paige Evans Whimsical. They're really cute. I really love these rub-ons. Now I'm really not a fan of rub-ons generally, so to say that I am now converted to rub-ons is quite impressive. What I'm doing right now is I've gone to add some machine stitching to my layout. Sorry, I left the camera running. Hopefully I'll be back in a minute. And yeah, I'm just stitching my title and also stitching a border around the edge of the page. There we go. And I'm just pulling through my threads to the other side now, and taping those down on the back so that everything is nice and neat and tidy. The reason that I've added stitching through my title is so that my thickers stay down. Sometimes I find that chipboard thickers tend to fall off. It's because they are not pliable like foam, so therefore they don't. When the layout bends, they just fall off. So I normally stitch through those. So I'm just adding in some little tiny details there. I've added a few stamps. I always check to make sure when I'm stamping that I stamp first on a piece of paper, just to make sure I've got the even, an even stamp. So I've just added a couple of little words there, and I'm just going back in now and adding the last few bits and pieces using mostly the rub-ons. I'm really loving the rub-ons. I told you before, it's really saying something. So there's a few hearts and another little phrase at the bottom that I've added right down at the bottom there, and that's pretty much it. I'm now going to step away and call it done. So there's the full layout. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you have enjoyed this layout. The sketch was awesome this week, so make sure you join in. Okay, thanks very much. That was Nikki Rowland for Hip Kit Club.